What is up, y'all? So in today's video, I'm going to tell you how you're able to sell your digital products, make money with digital products, even if you're starting with zero. So let's get into it. When I first started selling digital products, I didn't have thousands of dollars for Facebook ads. I didn't have a huge YouTube channel. I didn't have a massive or huge email list, but I still managed to generate over $2,000 selling my digital products completely organic. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact strategy I use and how you can use it too, even if you're starting from zero. Okay? So let's get into it. By the end of this video, you're going to learn or you're going to know exactly how to get your first customers without spending any money on advertising. Okay? Before we get into the framework, let me give you a little background story about myself so you can see how did I get here, right? How did I get here? So this is going to help you to learn the frameworks better and stick in your brain, okay? So hi, my name is Kenada Smith and I help creators and business owners grow their business with digital products, right? But I didn't always start with digital products. My first actual real business, if you don't count me selling candy in school and elementary, was actually being a author, and I was published under another's publishing company, right? And that later led me to pretty much opening or creating my own publishing company after I learned about publishing and how to create your own publishing company, right? So those was my first businesses. I had authors sign under me, right? And then after that, that wasn't the only businesses I had. I did so many different businesses. And then after that, I was doing selling lashes, contacts, all of that, right? And then I did drop shipping, right? So until the point where I eventually stumbled upon digital products. Now, this wasn't the first digital product business that I started though. The first digital product business that I started was credit repair, right? That was the niche. So I was in the credit repair niche and I sold a DIY credit repair bundle. Right. A DIY credit repair bundle. I sold it for $150, right? $150, and I was able to sell it organically with no paid ads with just outreach, cold outreach, right? I went in groups that I was in on school with where my target audience was at, and I pretty much pitched my offer, and I was able to make sales like that, and I was making more than one sale, and then I was making money, making more than what I made at a job. And I was like, okay, so that really painted the picture for me that digital products was real and I really can make money from digital products, right? And it wasn't like physical products where I had the business where I had to ship out products, I had to package products, I had to label the products, I had to do all of that, right? It wasn't like that. It was literally I created a digital product, I created the offer for that product, and I after I created the offer, put it up to sale, I literally they purchase the product and it gets sent to them automatically on autopilot. And that is when I knew. And I also made money in my sleep. And I was like, I can make money on my sleep. I don't always have to be working to make my money. This is powerful. This is what I want to do. So then I didn't really like the credit repair niche. I wasn't really so happy with the credit repair niche. It wasn't a passion of mine. That's why I say it's very important to choose your niche and choose your niche correctly. I literally don't just pull this out the top of my head. I literally learned from my mistakes of what I made and how it took me from business. I literally started my business. If you don't count elementary, I started my business in 2015. I graduated high school in 2014. So that's to tell you how this, like, my journey was always business. And if you really look back, you really start to see how God really pushed you in certain places. Some people are meant to be 9 to 5 workers. That's why we have doctors and everybody that is successful in that field, right? Because we need doctors, we need lawyers, etc. And then there's some people, which lawyers is kind of like a business because you're getting money, so that's different. But doctors is considered 9 to 5 unless you have your own practice. But that's besides the point. The point is, where you want to be in life is up to you. Whether you want a business or whether you want to be working a 9 to 5. But obviously you want something more for yourself and your family because you're watching this video, right? So I went from credit repair and I didn't really like that. I wasn't really passionate about it. So I switched to being a digital product coach, right? I switched to teaching people teaching beginners how to create their first digital products, teaching them how to grow and scale a digital product business. So this is what I went to. So now, after switching to that, in that field, I found one organic method that really skyrocketed my sales for organic traffic, and that was going live. Now, going live is very important. You might say, dang, going live, yes. And if you really think about it, what are all of the most successful people doing? Like Alex Hormozi, who has made over $100 million in a day selling books through a what? Webinar, which is what? A live training. Okay? Then we have people like Runway Billionaire, Smitty the Goat. These are all people that's making money from webinars, right? Russell Brunson, right? Which is a form of live training. Now, I use TikTok Live to do this structure, right? It's still like a webinar, but it's not an actual webinar because it's less technicalities. You don't have to set up a funnel. You just press the live button and you go live. So it's a lot easier for beginners to start with until they begin to get into the funnels and stuff like that. So I recommend starting from selling from lives. Okay, so I decided to start with TikTok because why? Because TikTok is easier to get pushed out on TikTok. It's easier to get pushed out. On TikTok, you have to have at least 50 followers to go live. At least 50 followers. So once you get those first 50 followers, you need to go ahead and go live, right? Now, I was making money before I hit 1,000 followers. Yes, I said before. You're like, Kinata, how was you able to make money before you hit 1,000 followers? If you can't put your link in the bio on TikTok without having 1,000 followers. Guys, you got to think outside of the box. There are so many ways that you can make money without having your link in your bio, okay? So the method that I used was I literally was on live. I do everything, do the live, and then I get to my pitch and my close, and I tell them, if you want to know how to get access, comment something, and I'll tell them comment whatever they comment. If they comment it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna text you the link. So if you want me to send you the link, comment, and I'll send it to your DM. And I also did the method where I was like, if you're interested in this and you want the link, send me a DM saying interested in which product you're interested in, or just say interested, and I'll send you the link. And I send them my Stan Store link. Right? So that is how I was able to make sales without the following. Now, in the beginning, when you go live, you don't want to just pitch in the beginning, because if you're using something like TikTok, you're going to have 1 to 2 followers. I mean, not followers, 1 to 2 viewers in your live at the beginning stages, until eventually you're going to break out to like the 5 to 10, and it's going to slowly pick up. But you have to stay consistent with it, right? So as you stay consistent, it's going to slowly push you out to more people. And then after you get to about 30 people in your live, you can start trying to pitch, right? You can start trying to pitch your offer. Okay. Now, organic marketing is gonna take a while, right? Because ads speeds things up. It gets your offer in front of more people, right? This is where I recommend doing both, especially if you're just starting. If you have the money to do both, or if you have the OPM, other people's money, credit cards, then if you have that, I recommend to do both. I recommend to do both, far as paid ads as well as organic marketing, because they connect with each other and it helps to build your ecosystem, your value ladder, all of that. Okay, so this is very, very important. Hold on, y'all, let me see. Okay, sorry about that. So this is very important, okay? So when you're on your TikTok lives, right? You want to go ahead and teach. You want to provide value. Why? Because providing value is what is going to help you to get people, your target audience, in front of you. You want to provide value. You want to look as an expert so people can know, like, ooh, this person knows this. Let me look. Let me listen. So you're wanting to provide value. Your main objective should not be to sell, 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 sell. No, your objective should be to help people, teach, provide value. That should be your objective, okay? Now, after you begin to provide value, this is what you're going to do the first couple of lives before you start pitching your offer. You're just going to provide value. You're going to be trying to get those followers up, Then once you get to 50 followers, you're going to be trying to get those followers up, Then once you get to 30, once you get to 30 viewers in your lives, then you're going to start pitching your offer, right? You're going to start pitching your offer. Okay? So, how are you going to pitch? So, how you're going to pitch is you're going to have a transition to close. Transition to close. So, when you're transitioning, you don't want to just say, okay, buy my product now. No, you want to be like, for instance, this is a transition. Okay, so now you've seen everything that we went over, right? You've seen everything. So now you have two choices. You can either continue to do it the hard way and manual way, where you manually create products, you manually do this, or you can choose to do it the easy way, where you have the right tools to actually help you on your journey, where you're not struggling, you're doing it the easy way. See, that was a transition. And then I could say easily from there, I could be like, so this is what I have for you today to make your life easier. And then I can go into my pitch or something like that. That's just an example of a transition, okay? Transition to pitch, okay? So these are the frameworks that you're going to need when it comes to this. So this is the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.